Story time about how my mom made me shave my hair off. So a little background information, I was 13 years old and in 7th grade, and I had just moved to a new school this year because my grandma was really sick and my family and I needed to take care of her. And for like the first 2 months, I had a big problem making friends. Until I met my best friends, Ashley and Nicole. Ashley was super sweet and Nicole was kind of and I was in between, so we kind of all balanced each other out. But fast forward to later on in the year, we met this one girl named Kelly. And I'm not gonna lie, she was super nice but really annoying. She would always try to talk to us, always try to hang out with us. She was literally stuck 24/7. And the one day Ashley convinced Nicole and I to have a sleepover with Kelly and her. So we say yes, and Nicole, Ashley, and I are all texting in the group chat. And Nicole goes, well, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to be nice to her. And she actually said that we were going to play a prank on her. And that's when Ashley bailed because she didn't want to be a part of it. Like for part 2. Part 2 about why my mom made me shave my hair off. So like I said, Ashley bailed because she did not want to be a part of Nicole's evil plan to bully this girl. So fast forward, Nicole and I go over to Kelly's house and I start to feel really bad because Kelly's actually super nice and she wasn't as weird as I thought she was. Fast forward, Kelly's sleeping and Nicole comes over to me and she's like, hey, come to the bathroom with me. So I get up and I go to the bathroom and Nicole pulls out Nair. And I asked her what the hell she's gonna do with that. And she was like, oh, I've seen some people do pranks on YouTube. You know, they put it in somebody's shampoo bottle and then it makes them lose their hair. So since I'm the only one who thinks logically, I'm like, Nicole, you cannot do that. And she's like, oh, don't be such a baby. That doesn't even work anyways. All the videos that I watched, people only lost like 4 strands of hair. Which made no sense because why the f are we gonna do it then? Anyways, fast forward, I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning and my mom comes to get me. Like for part 3. Part 3 about why my mom made me shave my hair off. So like I said, Nicole put the Nair in her shampoo and I went to sleep. I decided I was not going to be a part of this little plan. And I wake up in the morning, my mom comes and picks me up. And Ashley's texting me saying, hey, was Nicole nice to Kelly? And I told her about what she did. And Ashley was like, oh my god, that's so up, like, I'm gonna tell Kelly. And I was like, yeah, I was gonna tell her, but I don't want to get Nicole in trouble. So fast forward to dinner time, my mom gets a call from Kelly's mom. And she was like, Kelly took a shower earlier, she's losing her hair. And Nicole texted Kelly saying that your daughter's the one who put in my daughter's shampoo. So my mom's like, well, how do you know it was my daughter? And she was like, Nicole also said that she saw the Nair bottle in your daughter's backpack. So my mom runs up to my room, she finds the Nair bottle in my stuff, which obviously Nicole put there. But my mom wouldn't listen to me, so eventually she sat me down in the kitchen and shaved my hair.
What's the worst thing you've ever said at a funeral? I'll go first. The first time I ever attended a funeral was when I was 12 years old. My mom had this acquaintance whose husband passed away. Rest in peace, Greg. I'll never forget your name, my man. After the official ceremony, I guess you would call it, when the priest says prayers and everything, the wife then stood next to the casket while a whole bunch of the guests came by, gave their condolences, you know, said sweet words, and me and my mom were in that line. While I was standing in this line to get to the lady, I forgot her name, I think it was... That's besides the point, whatever. I was standing in this line and I saw people like giving her sweet words, you know, giving their condolences, and she was crying and it was so beautiful, like the love that they were giving to her. And I wanted to do the same. I was trying to think of something really good to say to her. Then it gets to me and my mom's turn to say our condolences. My mom goes up first. She gives her the sweetest words, says, I'm so sorry for your loss, my condolences. If you ever need anything, I'm here for you, yada, yada, yada. And then she proceeds to go, this is my daughter, Isabella. And then everything that I came up with in my mind just blanked. And what came out of my mouth was just unacceptable. This lady was crying, and then I just go reach out my hand and I say, how's your day going? Her husband's right next to her dead. Of course it's not going very good, Isabella. The moment those words left my mouth, I was like, oh, I done that. This lady is now looking at me. She's like, my mom is looking at me like, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry for your loss. And that was the day that I developed social anxiety.
Did anyone else just like run into glass when they were younger? Well, I hope so, because that was the most embarrassing thing that happened to me when I was like 8. So I was in a restaurant with my family and friends, and when us kids were done, you know, you always ask if you can play outside. So we did, and I don't know why, but I seemed to be so excited that I ran towards the door but because it was glass, I thought nothing was there, and literally crashed into it. Everyone stared at me, and luckily I didn't cry, but I had to stay in the restaurant with the ice pack on my head, and people were glaring at me the whole time. It was not a fun experience.
Here's a story time of how me and my sisters almost got kidnapped. So my mom and her boyfriend were just going to go out and have a night to themselves, and I was home watching my two little sisters. At the time, I was 13, my two little sisters were 9 and 6. So around 6 p.m., my mom and her boyfriend leave. Me and my sisters just sit down and watch a movie, and then I get up to make them dinner. I get paranoid really easily, and while I was making them dinner, I look out the kitchen window, and I thought I seen somebody in the backyard. I text my mom and she gets on the cameras that are outside and she said nobody was out there. I continue making them dinner, we sit down and eat, and then we start watching another movie. Then we start hearing knocking. It wasn't coming from any of the doors, it was coming from the side of the house. I didn't want to bother my mom on her one night out, so I just took the kids and we went upstairs and watched a movie in my room. My 6-year-old sister at the time went to the bathroom and she came back in literal tears. She was literally crying so hard until I finally got her to stop and tell me what was wrong. She said as she was walking back from the bathroom, she seen somebody downstairs. I quietly locked my door and I put my sisters in the closet and I called my mom right away. I'm running at part 2 of how me and my sisters almost got kidnapped. I called my mom and then she looked on the cameras downstairs and somebody was in the house. She never told me what the person was doing. I guess she just didn't want me worrying, but she called 911 right away. While my two little sisters were in the closet, my 6-year-old sister would not stop crying and I'm pretty sure the person downstairs heard her. At this time, my mom and her boyfriend were already on the way and so were the police. I heard him coming up the steps, so I quietly opened the closet door and promised my sisters that they would stay quiet and be calm no matter what. I didn't know what he was here for, so I hid in the side of the bed in front of the closet so that he would get to me before he got to the girls. I heard him just rummaging through stuff and stuff breaking. Then a couple minutes later, I hear the police sirens. Right as I hear the police sirens, I hear a bedroom window smash. While trying to stay as calm as I can, 3 policemen bust down the door. They grab me and my sisters and take us outside. About 5 minutes after they take us outside and put us in the back of their car, my mom and her boyfriend shows up. About 20 minutes later after he was caught, they did notify us that he was wanted for murder of 2 younger girls and 1 adult male. About $10,000 of our stuff was either missing or broke. Then about a month later when we were capable to, we did move. Nothing has happened since.